Look at this guy today.
So our off-season program, we have a couple different focus points. The main categories would be approach, timing, and mechanics. There's a focus point and a mindset behind each of them. We started out with just strictly movement prep, where we're trying to learn how to sequence our body in the right order with a lot of med ball work and a lot of sliders. We then moved on to a slower environment, like I said, with the tees and front toss, where we're starting to implement these movements with a bat in hand and slight moving balls. Then over time, it does progress into, can you match those movements? Can you match these mindsets with a higher challenge, a higher velocity at you? We have that progression in mind, and we have the environments in mind. So we're trying to utilize and keep our coaching skills and our mindset on a specific area, rather than 10 different things at once. Having that focus on one aspect and progressing into the other things. I think we just want to be sure that the athletes are moving the right way and they have the right mindset, where they're not feeling overwhelmed. They're mentally prepared, physically prepared to jump into that environment where things are moving a little faster. It's working towards our benefit, and that's kind of like the goal and the big picture of things in our off season. So after the players finish their cars, they get loose on the tee and they're ready to go, we jump right into overload, underload with the Axe Bat series. So the whole concept is to develop bat speed, be barrel loaded bats, handle loaded bats, light bats, and it's just different variations. Again, the end goal is to develop more bat speed in general. And that's a focus point. There's less of a focus on mechanics and more focus on intensity. After we complete the Axe Bat series, we divide 6 cages, and we're fortunate enough to have 6 cages that we can have different situations going on. For example, this week we doubled up on 2 different cages, because we do have that mindset that, hey, live is right around the corner. So we want to put a little bit more emphasis on velocity and timing. So 2 cages we have set up around 90 mile an hour reaction time. The whole focus is being in a hitter's count and having that fastball mentality, and trying to make sure that we're either on time, or if we are going to make a mistake, we're going to be on the early side of things.
Middle and fastball, where do you need to be to hit it? Right. Your barrel all the time right now is back here. You got to get that thing out. The whole purpose of this is be early or on time. You're looking to catch everything, jump everything, stop, let everything get back here. Right. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
The next cage, we're kind of on the opposite end, where you're in an 0-1, 1-1 situation where probability tells us that any pitch can come. So we're more into a reaction situation there. Okay, what's the situation? What are we working on? All right, 0-1, 1-1. We're talking about timing, right? How does your timing change? How does your pace change a little bit? We're trying to create depth, right? Yeah. Okay, so what does that tell us about our load time? Like, if your load time is hunting a heater, you're wanting to be early, it's gonna be slightly quicker, a little bit more awareness to it, right? What's your pace gonna be like here in like a 0-1, 1-1 situation? Like smooth or softer? Starting a little slower, starting a little bit more one motion, but a slower pace to it, right? Okay, because ultimately that's gonna help you create depth, right? Okay, so sell out. It's okay to make a mistake in a practice environment, right? But make the right mistake, okay? Not late, deep, right? There's a difference between being late and creating depth. Find your pace. One was too quick, one was too slow. Find the middle, find the middle. It's a good feeling right there, stay there, right? So one more cage we have is just a BP cage with our coaches, but it's a little bit different than the norm. We do encourage our coaches to change speed. We do encourage our coaches to mix location. And as we gear closer towards live and game situations, we will call out different counts for the hitters, different situations where the base runners are, different styles of pitchers. So we try to get some variance and let them apply and use their mental approach. We always think so much about the physicality of the game, but I think it's important to challenge kids mentally as well, especially in a game where there's so much failure. And these kids learn how to adapt and they learn how to prepare, they learn how to visualize in a practice environment, so it's not so overwhelming when they jump into a game.
Now, mentally, we always talk about the mental side of the game. Today, we're gonna add a little something, okay? Talking with one of our players, all right? He asked me, how do you lock in? How'd you lock in when you played? Okay, you can be a human, you can enjoy the baseball environment, be around your teammates, speak, right? But for me, right, I think it's time to flip the switch when you're in the hole. I want you guys to start to take in the situation, right? Where are the base runners? What's the pitcher, right? What's the score of the game? How is he pitching a similar right-handed hitter to me? How is he pitching a similar left-handed hitter to me? We get locked in. That's where we flip the switch. So how do we practice that in an environment like this? We're gonna practice flipping the switch mentally today. Okay, you're gonna create that tunnel vision early. I am mentally prepared to do what I need to do in this specific cage, right? I'm visualizing before it happens. Since you guys are older, I do expect you to police yourself a little bit. It needs everybody. It can't just be individuals, right? So take pride in your teammates, right? It's very repetitive and it comes very negative when it comes from us, the coaches, right? When it starts to become internal, you guys take pride in what you do. That's where culture is built. That's where chemistry is built. Okay, so that's what I challenge you guys today mentally. We understand what we need to do physically, all right? I challenge you mentally today.
Like we talked about, we got to start focusing more and more, locking in earlier. You should be working on that timing when you're in the hole in the cage. Don't stand back here like this and then get in the cage and get blown up. Start working on your timing. Figure out what you got to do. All of you have different unique swings and timing mechanisms. Let's make sure we start working on that from now.
Talk about some of the advantages of having other voices reinforce the philosophies of the program to better suit the individual needs of each athlete.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, like, we have so many different coaches with, everybody's got the same goals in mind in terms of philosophy and everything, and everybody's on the same page. But every different coach can come to a kid and explain it in a different way.
On the pitch in, you're adjusting. It can't be this way first to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
It's got to be here.
Oh, like walking like that?
I think it's important for these players to get bits and pieces from everybody along this way, and they start to kind of feel and form their own opinions as well. So a little bit of everything really helps out in the big picture, I think.
Swing and stop over the plate. Okay, go stand where I am. So what pitch are you struggling with rolling over? Outside, right? So you're standing tall, you gotta adjust your tilt on, yeah. If you're gonna be that far off the dish, you have to adjust your tilt.
The fact that we have so many different coaches that can give each kid a different angle is so beneficial.
There's something unique to each coach, and I want them to be able to bring whatever trait they're valued in to the table.